So we got 2 big weeks ahead of us, but one at a time. Let's start with this one. And in this case, you can see on Monday, mostly low impacting items. We do have another item out of the housing sector for the US. This is following last week's existing home sales surge. Tuesday, we're going to have durables, CB's consumer confidence out of the US, as well as the usual API all inventories reading. But Wednesday, things finally start to pick up a little bit. We got the Bank of Canada, first of 3 central bank announcements this week, where no changes are expected for the Bank of Canada, but we are going to get also Australian CPI as well as US trade. And then you got EI's all inventories estimate, which you take a look at the past 5 readings, mostly drawdowns, but hasn't translated into a bullish case for energy prices. And that, of course, is because of rising coronavirus cases. And we also had that ceasefire in Libya that's expected to boost supply. But on Thursday, we got 2 more central bank announcements. And in this case, no changes are expected from either the Bank of Japan nor the European Central Bank. But when it comes to the ECB, in this case, it's an interesting one to note. And that's because they have to address what has been a contracting services sector. According to last week's preliminary services PMIs out of market, you got recent ECB talk with regards to the negatives of low inflation, rising coronavirus cases, and curbs and lockdowns to address that. Out of the US, there is going to be preliminary GDP, that's an advanced GDP, I should say, as well as unemployment claims, which last time around beat expectations, but still relatively stubbornly high and not that far off of a million. All that out of the way on Friday. In this case, we're going to have a string of data, not just out of Japan, but also the Eurozone. You got preliminary CPI, preliminary GDP, unemployment. And for the US, it's really going to be about the consumer with personal spending, income, and pricing, especially absent any fiscal stimulus deal. When it comes to Baker Hughes overy count, so far we've been seeing consecutive gains, but overall, you take a look and you can see that's still well below that 670 plus figure that we used to see pre-pandemic. Also be on the lookout for any updates when it comes to Brexit as EU negotiators extend their visit. You also have earnings when it comes to European banks, as well as the big 5 US tech companies. And lastly, for those of you trading commodities, you've got China's Communist Party's leaders meeting this week to discuss their 5-year economic plan.